I had a problem, and that problem's name was Karen. You know the type, the kind of woman who, despite not knowing you from Adam, feels entitled to everything in your life. But in my case, Karen wasn't just a pain in the neck, she was a thief. And trust me, it wasn't just my packages she was taking, it was my patience. So I did what any fed-up person would do. I got creative. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and tell us where you are listening. Your support means everything. I live in a relatively quiet suburban neighborhood, where the most exciting thing to happen in years was the HOA getting a new set of lawnmowers. It's the kind of place where everyone knows everyone else's business, and you'd get a good 5-minute debrief at the local coffee shop if you so much as changed your mailbox number. But all of that turned upside down when I ordered a new set of wireless headphones, an impulse purchase I'd been saving up for. And of course, they were one of those fancy, new tech releases that everyone was talking about. Naturally, I was excited when the tracking info said my package was arriving. I couldn't wait to unbox it, try them on, and finally get away from the old pair that had been falling apart. But when I came home that day to see the delivered notification, my heart sank. The box was nowhere to be found. I checked the front porch, then the side of the house. Nothing. I checked the mail, hoping maybe the postman had dropped it in the wrong spot. Nope. Absolutely nothing. At first, I thought it was just a mix-up, so I waited a couple of hours to see if someone had just been late. But the next day, still nothing. No package. I went online to check the tracking again, just in case there had been an issue, and that's when I saw it. The delivered timestamp matched the exact moment I had stepped out of my house to grab coffee. That's when it hit me. Someone had taken it. I didn't want to believe it, but there was no denying it. It wasn't just any random thief, either. This was a local problem. The next day, I got a text from my neighbor, Kevin. "Hey, I think I saw your package on Karen's porch earlier today," he said, casually, like it wasn't the most shocking thing he could have said. Karen, the woman who lived 3 houses down, was my immediate suspect. We didn't know each other well, but there had been incidents before, little things like unsolicited complaints about the noise level of my dog barking or my lawn not being mowed to HOA standards, even though I had mowed it the day before. At first, I tried to dismiss it. After all, Karen was a Karen. Wasn't she supposed to be that way? She had that I'm better than you vibe with her freshly washed SUV, that obnoxiously huge American flag in the yard, and the ever-present, "Well, I know the rules" look she gave me every time we crossed paths. But this time it was different. This wasn't just a petty complaint about my weeds. This was theft. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but I was already starting to piece it together. The following afternoon, I saw Karen out in her driveway, unpacking something from a box. My heart skipped a beat. It was a big box, one that could have easily fit my headphones. I stood there for a moment watching her, trying to see if she would toss anything into the recycling bin. But no, she was just pulling out what looked like a brand new set of pots and pans from the box. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that she had my package. I decided to be a little sneaky about it. After all, confronting her head-on wasn't my style, and I had no evidence. So I turned to my trusty, quiet hero, my security camera. I had installed cameras at the front and back of my house after some minor vandalism issues in the past. They weren't the most high-tech, but they did the job. I went through the footage from the day my package was delivered. Sure enough, there she was. Karen walking down the street, glancing around suspiciously before bending down, picking up the box from my porch and heading back to her house. The footage was grainy, but it was clear enough for me to confirm that my gut had been right. I was furious. Furious. But I wasn't about to just let her get away with it. I needed a plan. After a little research and a few YouTube rabbit holes, I stumbled across the concept of a glitter bomb. Apparently these things were a big deal. People were sending glitter-filled devices in packages to thieves as a kind of revenge for stealing their stuff. At first it sounded juvenile, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. Karen wasn't going to get away with this without a little consequence. But I wasn't just going to fill a box with glitter and call it a day. Oh no. I had bigger plans. I wasn't interested in just sending her a regular glitter bomb. That would be too simple. I wanted to make sure that when Karen opened that package, she knew exactly who it came from and that her little game was over. So I spent the next few days planning. I ordered a professional-grade glitter bomb kit, one that would explode on opening. I also bought a set of fake labels to make it look like a high-end gift package, something she wouldn't think twice about opening. But here's where I got creative. I decided to add something extra, something that would make sure she never forgot this day. I went to a craft store and found a jar of iridescent confetti, along with some cheap but ridiculously sticky glue. I layered the glitter with the confetti and glued the edges of the package. The result? When the box was opened, the glue would catch the confetti, making it a pain in the ass to clean up. On top of that, I included a note inside. Don't mess with other people's stuff, Karen. The next time you try to steal my things, it won't be glitter. I promise. It was petty. Childish, even. But after the way she had been acting, I felt like it was justified. The day finally came. I dropped the package off on Karen's porch right in front of her door, and then I waited. I had a clear view of her house from my own front yard, so I set up camp behind the curtains, keeping an eye on the situation. It didn't take long for Karen to notice it. She came out of her house looking around suspiciously, clearly trying to figure out who left her this mysterious package. She picked it up, examined it for a moment, then carried it inside. I knew she was going to open it the moment she was alone. It was just too tempting. And sure enough, about 15 minutes later, I saw her through the window, tearing open the box with enthusiasm. Then boom, glitter everywhere. I watched as she jumped back, dropping the box, her face scrunching in horror as she realized what she'd just unleashed. Glitter and confetti filled the air like a sparkling storm. It was beautiful. But what made it even better was the look on her face. She was completely flustered, swearing under her breath, trying to clear the glitter from her hair and clothes. I didn't hear from her for a few days after that. I figured she would have been too embarrassed to bring it up. But eventually Karen did come over to confront me. She knocked on my door one afternoon looking absolutely livid. She barely got a word out before I raised an eyebrow and said, "What's wrong, Karen? Did the package I sent not meet your expectations?" Her face went red. You glitter bombed me?" she hissed, clearly furious. I couldn't help but smile. "Well, I did say it was a gift. But next time, maybe think twice before taking something that doesn't belong to you." She sputtered in outrage, but I wasn't fazed. "You might want to check the front of your porch for a broom, Karen. Might help with all that glitter. It can be a bit persistent." The confrontation ended with Karen storming off, leaving me feeling a weird mix of guilt and satisfaction. I never had another problem with stolen packages again. Karen never mentioned it again, either. But every time I saw her in the neighborhood, I could swear she looked a little more cautious. As for me, I got my headphones, and every time I opened that box, I couldn't help but smile.